We're coming back to everybody's gone to the Rapture, so I'm just gonna double check real quick, make sure everything's working on the live stream, make sure it's updating on the actual YouTube. So just bear with me for about 30 seconds to a minute, give or take, is usually how long it takes to actually show up on YouTube and verify the sound is working. For some reason, it seems as though it's taking a minute longer than normal. But we're going to take a look, make sure the sound is. I think we're in the last chapter. Normally we don't wait this long, but last time it would end up being really late, and I just couldn't finish it. So sorry about that, guys. Normally I try to do a long play and just go through an entire narrative like we did with Gone Home, but I just couldn't push through. I thought Steven was the last chapter. I thought we were going to get some kind of like definitive answer in another chapter, and I just didn't really expect it, to be honest. So it kind of caught me off guard. So we're gonna jump in here. I'm just gonna double check one more time here with the stream quality. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So I'm sorry if you're jumping in this afterwards. Normally I've already been jumping in and started again, but for some reason on my computer side, double checking this, I have not been able to actually pull it up and get it to work. So we are going to continue to try and monitor it and make sure it works, because for some reason it is not running. So that is disconcerting to me. There we go. That seems to be working good. Okay, finally I got that to load, so we're going to take that as a good sign. Alright guys, so sorry about that. And welcome to Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Part 2. So we are on who knows what chapter, but the chapter is now Kate by title, and ideally the last chapter. So we left off, we were in the substation, we got sucked up by whatever the entity is, and we have been launched here. So there's one of the observatory towers. I believe there's 6 in total. Here's Valis Tower 2. I don't see the light anymore. That one appears, I wonder if we go to towers in order. So that one looks kind of locked, but maybe open. So we'll go to 1 first, and then we'll go back to 2. 2 is wide open. So I'm going to go to them in order to see if I can. Yeah, that's definitely something guiding me. All right. Somebody has been writing something. So it made it sound the last time that we were talking that she had merged with this entity.
On the plane, Stephen leaned across me and pointed out the window. Down there, he said. That's home. But all I saw were patches of color. I don't think until this moment that I understood that one could contain the other so completely.
I don't know what that means necessarily yet. Alright. So, well, that's blocking the door, so I don't think we can go in those doors. So we're going to go ahead and go to the second door. I have the strange suspicion that this is going to be a short chapter, and I'm going to regret having not done this last night. So we're going to go through and double check and see what's going on. I also have the striking suspicion that my internet's going to go slow, and that scares me also. So I apologize ahead of time if my internet is not going quick. Let me know if you do see and it is not going fast.
I watched a butterfly dancing in a strip of sunlight. All of its life contained in a single day. The blink of an eye between the ebb of the darkening tide. Lying there with the pattern curled around me, I saw the inevitability.
The inevitability.
The necessity of presence born from absence. The constant unfolding.
Yeah. So, like, she's been drawing a lot of these, like, figure 8-esque patterns. I don't know what these are for necessarily yet. I'm wondering there's a lot of printers, man. I'm wondering if it's printing all these. Because it was starting to go places and do stuff. I'm wondering what's its deal. So I'm not entirely sure what it was doing. But we shall see. I do not know entirely. which number is this? So if that was 1, this is 2. I'm led to believe this would be 3, I guess. It doesn't really guide you to which one's which. That's kind of pretty over here. Oh, there's a whole bunch of things up here. I don't... Okay. We'll go with this. I don't really know which one's which at the moment. What's where. These appear to be photographs of the event as it's moving around. Maybe this was beforehand. So we still don't know how long Kate's been alive after this event occurred.
I know it didn't mean to hurt any of them. I try and explain why Lizzie tried to leave with her child and why it was wrong to stop her. I try and explain that much of what it did was wrong. It shows me Stephen and Lizzie together. And I'm happy for them. Frank walks his fields with Mary. Wendy and Edward nest together in the orchards of their love. Jeremy lies at peace with his God at last. All of them are happy because they're together.
That's all the stuff we've seen so far.
I understand it better now. It is a collector of time. No butterflies.
That's what we... Okay, so that's what we theorized the last time when we did this. We theorized that it could be a temporal anomaly. But I originally theorized that we could break them out of it, and that might be incorrect. So, let's go back down. I thought there was an exit right here. Oh, yeah, there it is. So let's come back down to this was 3. Yep, there's 4 right down here, down the road. Oops, I got stuck there. Alright. So it appears that this is not the first time that Kate has walked the path that we walked when we first started this game. Which is interesting. And this may not even be Kate. Like, now that I think about it, like, we're listening to her the voice in the third person. I don't think we've ever heard the character, so to speak, and I use air quotes, really, on character, that we're playing as, right? Like, we could very well just be the spirit. Like, we have no idea what or who we're playing as. We've just assumed it's Kate this whole time. I mean, we could just be like a third-party narration, I guess. There's nothing to say that that's actually what we are.
I watched the pattern lean in and time slow to almost nothing. I saw the flame leap from Stephen's hand and the moment hang in the air forever. I watched his face. And in the last second, I almost believe he saw me. He wasn't frightened or angry. I remember his expression, just like I remember it from the first time, early that morning when he woke and, still half sleeping, said, "God, I love you." And I loved him as he entered the fire, and I let him go, knowing I wasn't ready to join him. We have held time to ourselves here in this place. Held the light to the ground because we were afraid of the coming dark. But now we understand that to cling to the light is not living. I've spent my life watching the illumination from a million dead stars reaching for me without grasping this meaning. The light we cast transcends our death. The pattern made by our living creates a bridge across the dark.
Wow, that's kind of a deep statement. Can't go through there, it looks like. Alright, so now we're 4 of the 6. So the concept that she's trying to say now is it doesn't really matter whether you live or die. Like, what you did in life transcends what happens in death, right? Like the actions that like Frank, for instance, right? Like all the good deeds that he did in life are what people remembered him by. Or like Wendy's like incessant, nagging and her birds, they live on beyond herself, or Eddie, who died from his injuries, and gave a lot in the war, or Lizzie's injuries or whatever. Like, their memories outlast all of that, and there's something, oddly poetic about that substance, I think. But it's cute. I don't know of its factuality, but it's interesting.
The observatory over the valley and consumes the world. Everything is light now. Everything has come to rest. The world is scored by the traces we carved into it. Our presence is everywhere. The bridge joining our stories. This world existed before we came to it, and it will continue without us. In the empty fields and houses, our traces radiate, and others will come to dance in the light we cast.
Whoa.
We can slip away gently, unafraid, knowing that everything will continue.
So, I really feel like we've been a light ball this whole time. And that's kind of interesting. It generated a light ball then, in that case. Alright, we got one more observation tower to go. And I am very, very curious to see what it will do. Huh. We're finally getting the closure that we need. There's the 6th tower. Whoa! Okay. Big light fragments coming out of there. A big aurora borealis. Got sick Tesla coils, basically. Kind of scared me there for a second, to be honest. I was freaking out. That's pretty sick. So they aligned all these arrays. That was what brought this anomaly to begin with. It's been very interesting. And, it's the darkness, so this is metaphorical. Yep, and here's the very last one. Notice how, the door disappeared the second I walked in. Oh, and it's doing one of those things where I can turn it to find it. Yep. Wait, before we do it, let's click the button. Oh, I can't read it. I have to do this first. Charge up his power. Where is it at? Right here? I can't click the thing until I charge it all the way up. It's brighter than all the other ones so far, I think. Then here we are. Man, we should have finished this last night. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize that this was going to be such a short chapter for closure. I might go back later and just pull the two together and edit them together.
We have each other. We lived apart from them. We understand now our failure to touch, to belong. But it doesn't matter anymore. Everybody is gone, and we will join them. We are born apart, driftwood on the banks of an endless dark ocean, and we will be carried away by the swell soon enough. But in between, in the single day of living, that dancing in a strip of sunlight, we can find what we miss. The love that makes us whole. The imminence. Everybody found their other. This pattern is mine.
Wow. So, this is another one of those slow starting games that ended up being a really good narrative. This is Gone Home all over again. Where at first it was so slow starting and there was so little I didn't know what was going on, and I'm I don't know how I feel about it. But man, so Kate never felt like she belonged, anywhere. Even with Steven, it sounded right? No matter who she was with, she just felt distant. Felt like no one understood her. Even Steven said, right? I feel like she has entire worlds in her mind. no one really understands anything that goes on in there. Like, she always felt isolated. And then she couldn't connect with other people because she never understood by where they're coming from. And I think a lot of people can really, especially introverted people, like, I think a lot of people can associate with that, like, the difficulty connecting to people on an emotional level. Sorry, I'm trying to talk about the music. The music just keeps escalating higher and higher. Like, connecting to people on that emotional level, because you don't always, like, people don't always speak what they feel. You don't see the underlying background of why people take the actions that they did, or what, you know, what caused them, you know, to feel the way they do about things. So, like, you never saw that, you know, in the end, Steven really did love Kate. Like, he was cheating on her, but, like, you saw what he did to Sam in that warehouse. Like, the, like, violent reaction the second... Oh my god, it's so loud, I'm sorry. I'm trying to talk over them, and they are so loud with this music. In the warehouse, when Sam tried to talk down to Kate, like, the violent reaction Steven had, he ended up killing him, which, I mean, I don't recommend, obviously. But, like, that was after the affair had already occurred. And even then, he was, you know, so deeply in love with Kate. Like, obviously he was confused and had his own issues, but in the long run, like, he really did love her. He just couldn't relate to her, and that kind of drove him into Lizzie's arms. Oh my god, it's louder and louder. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find a way to turn it down, but I can't. So, finally it's starting to ebb down a little bit. So, each one of these characters had their own flaws, but they also had good qualities about them too. And by finding little itty-bitty excerpts about each one of them in each chapter, you kind of got to see where they were coming from. And that's how Kate was able to learn and connect with those people and see the differences. So, like, before she was like, oh, they all look at me like I have two heads. Oh, they all look at me like I'm crazy. They all hate me immediately. Oh, they're just terrible people. She didn't want to get to know them either. Like, you saw the way she talked to Lizzie in the beginning, right? Like, it was just mean. And so, like, now you see that she connects with those people as well, sees where they're coming from, and feels like one of them. And that's really, really cool that she was able to overcome that gap that she never could overcome emotionally. And I think that's a really cool, you know, narrative choice for this game. It was kind of neat because I didn't really like know where they were going with it for like a long, long, long time. I had a lot of guesses, and they still don't really tell you a lot. Honestly, they never tell you what that creature-esque entity thing is. You just know that it killed everything. It didn't mean to necessarily, but the end of the world occurred, and that basically said that even if everyone dies, it doesn't matter whether you live or die. It's what you did that transcends what you lived for. You know, so it's more of like the deeper meaning of, you know, your actions outlive your physical life. You know, so it was kind of neat. I liked it. I mean, it was pretty neat. I don't know if I'd play through it again. Like, I know I probably missed some stuff. Like, there was, I think probably like about half to 2/3 of the way through, I kind of started trying to run through it because it was getting a little bit late, and I was like, I'm running in circles. The light kind of was very quick, and Kate, bless her heart, she's the slowest human being, or whoever we played as. I was assuming we were Kate, but I don't know what we were playing as. I can't even remember if they told us we were playing as Kate. I just assumed it. I just couldn't keep up with that light, so it was becoming very irritating trying to run and keep up with it. So I probably missed quite a few, you know, cutscenes and different things that would have given a deeper understanding of what was going on. So I don't know if I'd play it again. I'll probably delete it and not play it again. But I think it was worth playing to see that ending part and see how it all came back together and watch those interactions. At least the last 3 chapters. The Lizzie, Steven, and Kate chapters alone, I think, kind of pulled everything together. Like, I appreciate the subtlety of the preceding chapters, like the Jeremy, the Wendy, and the Frank. I don't think I enjoyed them as much, but I appreciate the build up, I guess, within reason. I didn't really enjoy them as much. Like, I kind of wish they were a little shorter. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the Lizzie, Steven, and Kate ones were very juicy, and they let you know a lot of stuff what was going on, and really just like how bad things had gotten, and really like 85% of what was going on was in those 3 chapters. So I'm just gonna let these credits roll on, and I'm kind of gonna ramble on again, just as I said during the late shift. The last time I did this was Until Dawn, and if you watch my Until Dawn playthrough after that, like at any point later than this video, I will apologize ahead of time. I stopped halfway through the credits because you may notice that that's a 6.5 hour video, and upon beating it for my very first time, I was like, hey guys, like, I'm done, have a great day, like, I'll see you next time, and then ended the stream really quickly, not realizing that the very kind people in the chat were like, hey man, there's a video at the end of this, and I didn't pay attention. Long story short, ended the stream, like, went and took a bathroom break, came back, only to find that there was a video playing in the end of it. I caught the video, but the stream did not. So forever, my 6.5 hour long play will miss the very ending video after the credits, and that just, you know, burns me up a little bit because I played this very long video. I'm sure I'll play it again sometime and play it whole playthrough, but like that, like, I literally had never seen a playthrough of Until Dawn. I was completely like blind playthrough, had never done anything with it before, going at it raw. Like, I had all my like crackpot theories, and so like I really wanted to be that like my purest, most complete playthrough, and it ruined it for me. So I don't blame you if you skip ahead past this, well, my ramblings, but this is why I'm rambling through the credits to see if there's something at the end of the credits. So I have no idea if there is, because I've never played this game before. This is my first playthrough, but like Until Dawn has now put a fear in me to see if there's something at the end of this. Besides extremely loud opera music. All right. Well, I think we were almost there. I feel like this has been a very long credit sequence, honestly. Like, I thought they had their special thanks earlier. Usually that's like towards the end. It's been very interesting. I guess they have it in several languages, but I didn't realize they had it in several languages. I didn't realize it was that big of a thing. Yeah, Korea, Japanese. I don't know why I said Korea, not said Korean, but Korean, Japanese, English. I know, but I mean, it's a cool narrative game. I will say that I've played enough narrative games, so whatever I play later tonight will not be a narrative game. That must be the number sequence that they play throughout the entire game, and I imagine that means something in some kind of code, but I do not want to decipher it. I do not have the patience for that now. I'll probably Google it later just to see, but I do not have that patience. I'm hoping something pops up, maybe. Something besides a blank screen. Preferably. But overall, good playthrough. Now I'm a little bit bummed because it wasn't very long afterwards. Like, I probably could have pushed out the last, was it 20-30 minutes, and just pushed through the rest of that playthrough. I kind of regret not having finished it. So, yep, and that was it. So it really just put it to the end of there. So thanks guys for staying with me. Sorry for the very short conclusion. I may actually just combine these in the end anyway. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. I thought it was kind of interesting. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to lay the smack down on that like button, and we'll see you next time.